fire my parents cut me off over my sister's lie. 5 years later, I was her only hope in the ER. Fire. I came back to my hometown on a rainy night, the kind of rain that feels heavy, like it carries old voices with it. The road was dark, shining under the streetlights, and every turn felt familiar even after all these years. I hadn't planned to return. I told myself I never would. But life has a way of pulling you back to the places that broke you. The hospital stood at the edge of town, tall and quiet. Its white walls looked cold under the grey sky. As I parked the car, my hand stayed on the steering wheel longer than needed. My heart was beating fast, not from fear, but from memories. This town held too many of them. When I walked inside, the smell of medicine and cleaning liquid hit me at once. The lights were too bright, almost painful. My shoes echoed on the floor, and with every step, I felt smaller. I hadn't stepped into this hospital since the night I left home. 5 years ago, my parents cut me off like I never existed. No warning. No chance to explain. One day I was their son, and the next day, I was nothing. My phone stopped ringing. My messages went unanswered. It all happened because of one lie my sister told. I could still see that night clearly. My father standing near the door, his face hard and tired. My mother crying silently, her hands shaking, but she never said my name. And my sister, standing behind them, eyes lowered, quiet. She didn't defend me. She didn't stop them. She just let it happen. I left with one bag and a chest full of questions. I told myself the truth would come out one day. It never did. Now, standing at the ER desk, I gave my name. The nurse looked at the screen, then back at me, confused. She asked if I was family. I nodded, though the word felt strange on my tongue. Then I saw the name on the monitor. My sister. My stomach dropped. I felt cold all over. I followed the nurse down the hallway. The sound of machines, distant voices, and rushed footsteps filled the air. When I reached her bed, I almost didn't recognize her. She looked smaller, pale, weak. Tubes and wires surrounded her like a cage. Her eyes opened slowly when she heard my voice. For a moment, she just stared. Then her face changed, fear first, then shame, and finally something like relief. I realized something then. After 5 years of silence, after being pushed out and forgotten, I was the only family left on her file. And I didn't know yet that this night was about to change everything. The room was quiet except for the slow beeping of the monitor beside her bed. Each sound felt like a countdown. I stood near the wall, not sure if I should sit, not sure if I belonged there at all. 5 years of distance does that. It makes even standing close feel wrong. My sister swallowed hard and looked at me again. Her eyes were red, not just from pain, but from something deeper. Guilt, maybe. Or fear. I didn't think you'd come, she said softly. Her voice was weak, like it might break if she spoke any louder. I didn't think I'd be called, I replied. My voice sounded calm, but inside, everything was shaking. She nodded and looked at the ceiling. The silence stretched between us. It was thick and uncomfortable, filled with words we never said. I could feel the past pressing in, refusing to stay buried. You look different, she said after a moment. So do you, I answered. That was all. No apology. No explanation. I watched her hands tremble as she pulled the blanket closer. The room felt cold, though the heater was on. Something about her movements felt careful, like she was choosing every breath. I remembered 7 years ago, sitting at the kitchen table, my heart racing as I tried to explain myself. I remembered how my sister cried that night, how she said I ruined her future. I remembered believing that the truth would save me. It didn't. Mom and Dad? I asked quietly. Her eyes shifted away from mine. She stared at the curtain, at the floor, anywhere but my face. They're out of town, she said. They don't know yet. That answer didn't sit right. My parents never traveled together anymore. And they never missed emergencies. My chest tightened. A nurse walked in briefly, checked the machines, then left. The door closed, and the silence returned. This time, it felt heavier. I put your name down, she said suddenly. For what? I asked. As my emergency contact. I laughed softly, without humor. After everything. She didn't answer. Tears slowly rolled down the sides of her face. She wiped them away quickly, like she didn't deserve to cry in front of me. I didn't have anyone else, she whispered. That was when I felt it. Something was wrong. Not just with her health. With the story. With the past. The way she avoided my eyes. The way her voice shook when she spoke about the past. The door opened again. A doctor came in, serious and fast-talking. He explained the situation. Surgery. Risk. No time. He looked at me, waiting. I need consent from family, he said. My sister's breathing became uneven. She grabbed my wrist with weak fingers. Please, she said. Before they take me, there's something you don't know. Her grip tightened, and in that moment, I knew the truth I waited years for was finally coming. And it was going to hurt more than the lie ever did. Her fingers tightened around my wrist, weak but desperate. Her eyes searched my face, like she was afraid I might disappear if she looked away. The machines kept beeping, steady and cold, reminding us that time was running out. The money, she said, her voice barely a whisper. I took it. The words hung in the air. For a moment, I didn't breathe. What? I asked quietly. She closed her eyes, tears slipping out from the corners. The money Dad saved for my college. I failed my exams. I was scared. I didn't know how to tell them. Her chest rose and fell fast. When they found out the money was gone. I blamed you. Every memory came rushing back at once. My father's angry voice. My mother's silence. The way my sister cried and pointed at me. I remembered standing there, confused, waiting for her to tell the truth. You watched them throw me out, I said. My voice didn't shake, but my heart did. You watched me lose everything. She nodded slowly. I thought, if you left, things would go back to normal. I thought I could live with it. I looked at her pale face, the fear written clearly now. 5 years ago, I imagined this moment many times. I imagined yelling. I imagined breaking down. But all I felt now was a deep, tired emptiness. And Mom and Dad? I asked. She swallowed hard. They know now, she admitted. I told them last year. They tried to call you. You never answered. I almost laughed. Last year, I was working 2 jobs just to survive. My phone had been the same number for years. They never tried hard enough. The doctor cleared his throat, reminding us he was still there. Time was almost gone. There's more, my sister said quickly, panic rising in her voice. I put you as my emergency contact because I knew you'd come. Her eyes filled again. And because I needed you to choose. To sign. To save me. I took the clipboard from the doctor. The paper felt heavy in my hands, heavier than it should have been. This was power. Not revenge with anger, but with truth. I signed. Not because she deserved it, but because I refused to be like her. Before they wheeled her away, I leaned closer so only she could hear. I forgave you years ago, I said softly. But forgiveness doesn't erase consequences. Her eyes widened. She tried to speak, but they were already moving her toward the doors. As they closed behind her, the room felt suddenly quiet. Empty. For the first time in 5 years, I wasn't the broken one walking away. I walked out knowing the truth was finally out, and knowing that some apologies come too late to heal what they destroy.